everybody. I think this is a yellow lab. I'm not sure, but he's a leader dog. It's not a he, it's a she. Her name is Mom, I guess. Anyway, I started this. I sketched in the outline yesterday, and I'm starting the painting today. And I always start with the head first, because that's the critical spot. And if the head turns out fine, then the rest of it is usually okay. I spent 27 years at Jacobson's advertising department here in Jackson. And I was the head artist in the department for a long time and retired from there. I've been volunteering at Cascades for maybe 20 years. I'm not sure, I haven't kept track. And I've done just about everything there is to do there. I've done their laundry, which is gigantic, because every pet in the place gets fresh bedding every day. So the laundry is awesome. And I haven't done that very much, thank heavens. But I've walked dogs, I've fostered animals, kittens, mama cats, dogs, puppies, whatever. And the people at Cascades are just very devoted, and they're wonderful people. They work for less than the going wages, and they're very devoted. They go on and on and on and do good work. So I didn't get my dog here, Jackie, from Cascades. I got him from Jackson County Animal Control, which is a separate tax-paid-for community organization, whereas Cascades is privately funded. They don't get any tax money. So they're a 401k, so they're dependent on donations. So this is very important work for them, especially now during coronavirus. Apparently all the 401ks are down on donations, so any money that comes in is welcome. So I think these are, I'm getting better all the time. So I think these pet portraits are a wonderful gift if someone in your family has a pet, or if you have a pet. I've even done paintings from photos of deceased pets who were their owners, the apple of their eye. And so they make wonderful gifts. So if you're looking for something that's out of the ordinary, I'd be happy to paint your pet's portrait. And a lot of them now are geared toward Christmas giving, but I hope to continue this on forever. And I will continue to donate the $20 to Cascades. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a Christmas gift. So I'm going to continue painting while I talk. Hopefully I can do both at the same time. Let's see, as far as Vista goes, I did move in here about 2 years ago, and I moved in with the dog that I had then, a little beagle. And then she had to be put down. She had kidney failure. And I thought, well, at my age, I should give up having pets. But I couldn't live without a pet. So I decided I needed a little Chihuahua. So I went on the internet and advised friends that I was looking for a Chihuahua. And I heard that Jackson County Animal Control had a Chihuahua. So I went over there and said, I'm here to get your Chihuahua. And they said, we don't have a Chihuahua. So he said, we have a Chihuahua mix. And he said, do you want to see him? And I said, yeah. So they showed me this funny looking little dog. They said he was a Chihuahua Jack Russell mix, but I don't think so. I think he's a Chihuahua head and Chihuahua tail and Chihuahua feet but his body is the body of a bulldog. So that's what he looks like. He's got a crooked tooth that sticks out sideways, and he has a growth on his tummy, and he has some warts under his fur. So he's a funny looking little creature, but I do love him. And he's 12 years old also, although he does run me a merry chase. When we go for walks, I can hardly keep up with him. So when you adopt a dog like that, you're kind of guessing at their background. You don't know what kind of original owner they had, especially if it's a stray like Jackie was. He was a stray. So whether he's for sure 12 or not, I'm not sure. But anyway, he's a nice little guy, and I'm very grateful that Vista allows pets. We have a lot of cats here. We have some other dogs, and they're very tolerant. Jackie did get loose one time in the hallway, and I think some of the staff, I was gone. What happened was I left my door ajar when I left the apartment, and he discovered that and was loose in the hallway. But somebody got him back, and none the worse for wear, and there were no repercussions. So the only request is that we keep the dog droppings picked up, which is understandable. So the other thing that's great is this room, which they call the hobby room. It's right kitty corner across from my apartment. So I've sort of taken it over as my work room for painting. And it's very handy. There's room here for other people to work at the same time. So I'm really happy to be retired, and this is getting me through the coronavirus. I've got something to keep myself occupied with, and I'm doing some good for the Cascades at the same time. So I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I'm doing this. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing while I'm painting. If anybody is an artist, painting pets is very meticulous. I don't ordinarily paint dabbing away like this. I'm a little looser. But if you don't get everything right in their face, it's not the same animal. So you have to be sure that you've got the drawing right, and the markings and all the other things on the face, or it's not the same animal. And watercolors lends itself pretty well to this sort of thing. It's a fast medium. Ordinarily, you don't have to dab around like this, and it dries fast. But you have to get things right in the first place, as opposed to oil paints where you can paint over your mistakes. Here you can't make too many mistakes without having to start over again. I'm kind of losing my voice. I'm not used to talking so much. So, after I draw it in, then I have to look back and forth, and I said, what is that? I guess it's supposed to be a shadow. So I guess I'll do the scarf around his neck next, which apparently is very important. The lady who owns a dog wanted it shown that he is a leader dog. She is a leader dog. All right, I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing here while I'm talking, which is not easy. So if there are some stops in my dialogue, it's because I'm concentrating. I have to keep back and forth between the photo and the artwork to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. And there are different colors of blue, so I want to get the right blue. And watercolor there's a lot of control involved because it runs. And sometimes the running of the paint is good and adds to the look of it, and other times it's a disaster. So you kind of have to be careful what you're doing. And one of the nice things about watercolor is it's very spontaneous and fresh, and you don't want to work it over it too much because then it loses that quality of freshness. So I'm going to bleed some of the edges in. And add a little bit of shadow. Okay. I don't know what that is.
So what got you into art in the first place? What made you decide to go to art school?
Well, I wasn't good at anything else. And I always was creatively inclined. I barely made it through grade school arithmetic, so I knew anything having to do with mathematics, forget that. So then, against my mother, and I don't think my dad either ever thought you could make money as an artist, but I did go to art school in Chicago, which was geared strictly to commercial art, getting out in 2 years and being qualified to make a living as an artist, a commercial artist. And the difference between a commercial artist and a fine artist is that there's no guarantee with, in fine art, whereas in commercial art, if you can produce advertising, which is basically what it is, was trained specifically to be a commercial artist, and I worked in an advertising agency in Chicago for a couple of years. And then I had children, which took me away from my career. And then we moved to Michigan, and I worked in an advertising agency in Ann Arbor for a couple of years. And then I evolved into finding a job in Jacobson's advertising department and worked there for 27 years until I retired. So I've made a living in the art field all these years, and love doing it. That's what I do. Now I'm going to do this lettering, so I'm going to have to concentrate on what I'm doing. The thing about painting is that if you don't have good material, you're not going to get good results. And I paid $20 or more for this brush, which is supposed to be Kolinsky Sable, the best you can buy, and it's supposed to have a good point on it, and it doesn't. So I'm not too happy about that. But anyway, those are the pitfalls of being an artist. But another nice thing about being here at Vista is that I don't have to do housework anymore. I don't have to cook anymore. I don't have to mow the lawn and take care of 4 acres of gardens. Although I can do gardening here, I have pots in the courtyard and windowsill plants and a raised bed. So I get my gardening want to be as much as I want to do. And that gives me free time to do this. So the hallway out here is lined with my paintings because I've run out of wall space in my apartment. And I'm being allowed to do that, which is nice. So I'm happy here. I'm keeping busy, doing worthwhile things. So I would highly recommend coming in here if you are so inclined. I'm supposed to get this a paw print, and she specifically asked for the paw print. So that's a paw print. And when it's dry, I'm gonna run a little bit of wash to put that in shadow like it is on here. It stands out too much. So far, it's looking okay. I haven't messed up yet. It's very possible to mess up anywhere along the way. So that would be a disaster. I'd hate to start over. I haven't had to do that yet. And everybody seems pleased with the results, so. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed watching me paint. I would be happy to do more pet paintings. When I get through, I won't know what to do with myself. So if you have a pet, or if you know someone who has a pet and you'd like to give a gift of a painting, $20 is very reasonable. And I mean, even if I were putting it in my pocket, but it's going to Cascades and the Humane Society, and they're totally dependent on donations. So the $20 would go to fund the upkeep and caring of all the stray and adoptive animals that they have. They do wonderful work there. I'm very familiar with how devoted they are. It's pretty close to being a no-kill shelter. So even if they have a dog or a cat that they can't adopt out, they have resources where they trade animals. And sometimes if they trade to a different shelter and bring in a new pet, that pet that they've traded off will find a home somewhere. So they do great work and they deserve our support. So hopefully you'll find a pet somewhere in your vicinity that you'd like to have a painting of, and I'd be happy to do it. So if you call Vista and they can make an appointment for me, or they can connect you to me and I can make an appointment. All I need is a good photo, and a lot of people are taking the pictures on their whatever. I don't have an access to a computer, so I don't know that much about it. But then they get a printout of their photo, and this is what I get. But I can also work from just a regular photo, but it needs to be accurate. It needs to show everything you want to see shown. In other words, if you cut off a leg in the focus, I won't know what it looks like. So I need to see what the pet really looks like. So be careful when you take the picture. So hope I'll hear from whoever is watching this.